That's good.
Yeah, that looks fine.
No, but
I like it.
wait a minute. I got this continue. Wait a minute. Okay. Now, see, I brought it up too high
Yeah.
and then I put it here. Now I can't erase this. So what's what?
Yeah, but you can paint over it. You could use your paint and paint over it.
Yeah,
And
I didn't know whether the paint would work on this. That's why I was asking you.
yeah, you can paint on that, or you could collage over it. You could put, you could find some big colors. You can use construction paper to collage over top of that. You could use pictures from a magazine to collage over top of that.
Um,
Even just cut, even your jelly plate prints. I really wanted you guys to try to use the jelly plate prints, in your collages. So you could cut, a couple pieces off of one of the jelly plates and put them like a triangle, right? It's just basically a triangle, Ruby, that goes up that space. But maybe the buildings in the front are so big that you don't need a vantage point, you know what I mean? Maybe you just want a sidewalk in the front. And you could just put another building there and just get rid of that road.
I think I made the buildings too big.
Yeah, but that's okay. You can just leave them like that and just make another building behind them, and they'll just be like a frontal view.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, then it could just be like block, like you're standing in front of them. It's just a different vantage point.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. Awesome. All right. So did anybody think about, has anybody incorporated any human beings into this work, or physical or bodies, or physical or people, portraits or people?
I did it with my son, but then it didn't come out right. And then I covered the face, but I showed one of his eyes. That was a, let's see.
4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Leah, can you see it?
Yeah, hang on. Let me see. Oh yeah.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I like that.
This was a picture of him.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't think he wanted the whole face, so I covered it and just showed his eyes. And his
Oh
mouth.
yeah, I see it now. Yep, I love it. Oh,
I
I
don't know.
love it. That looks a lot like the collages that I just showed. Did you just see my slideshow?
Mhm.
That looks a lot like the collages. The only difference is that in the collages that I showed, there was a lot of what I would call solid color space. And this is something that I've been trying to use a lot in my own work, where I have busy things, but then I have empty space too, right? So if has anybody ever made a collage and then painted over part of the collage?
No,
Well, you can add another layer, right? So once you have a collage, if you want to quiet down an area, you could take those craft paints and you could paint over the collage in solid colors to sort of bring one part have more attention and one part be more quiet, right?
I'll do
Oh,
it.
okay.
So there's never, it's never over. Like just making the collage, sometimes there's still stuff that you
Yeah,
can
I tried to do a little bit of the point. I don't know if you could see it.
Hold on. Oh yeah, that's really good. Vantage point. Yeah, I like your little houses with the tree. I love the tree.
I can't see it.
Yeah, it's hard to see from, I did it in a light pencil.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what are you gonna do with that drawing? Are you gonna turn it into a collage?
I was thinking of doing that.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, you could cut pieces of paper just to the shapes that you have in there and glue
Right,
them
that's
on
a good idea.
Yeah, and you could do a road between, I mean, you could just draw a straight horizon line across the picture and make it a color paper, you know? or use one of your jelly plate prints and cut it up.
I love the jelly plate prints.
I know. Has anybody been doing that on their own?
I have.
I did.
We did it. Look, you guys. So one of the things that I did was really helpful with my students is we actually did it in color, and I made them do just, I made them work for a long time, and I made them work in specific colors. So for example, like just yellow or just red. And then basically once you've done that, you have all, you kind of make yourself your own little collage pack. So you can go, okay, here's all my purple ones, right? So here's all the purple ones. And then they just, it's so freeing, right? Then they can kind of go through and go, okay, here's purple. And then, okay, here's blue. And this is a really neat thing too, just doing like a handprint on the jelly
Yes.
plate, right? Because that could be something interesting for a collage, you know, because has anybody ever like hand printed the sidewalk in front of their house? I mean, it's just sort of a way.
Oh, we used to do that with the kids. Yes.
Yeah. So look, here's all the blue ones, right? All the blue, and then we did the yellow ones. Here's all, so I made them do all. Now they have all of these collage materials, you know, in every color when they're looking for a color. So it sort of helps you organize, organize yourselves to collage material and be a little bit more free about it. I mean, so here's orange, right? So then they could just use these and cut them up and make something else. And then here's red, right? So we didn't do green yet. We still have to do green. But here's a bunch of the red ones. You know,
Yeah, I like, yeah.
and then you just, this is all becomes collage material, right? So theoretically, if I could give you guys an assignment for today, I would like you to make, I would like you guys to look in a magazine or find a picture of a person, right? And add some of these jelly plate prints or other collage materials to that person to maybe put, you know, like houses around her or on her head or in her head, right? Or in her hair, you know, something that represents sort of the body. So the body could be like the pedestal. You could be like holding the house up, like literally like this. Have you ever felt like this? Like you're holding your house up over your head, or that the house is squashing you. You remember that famous, where did we see that? What movie did we see a house squashing somebody?
Oh, Wizard of Oz.
Yes, you win the $50,000 question. Woo! Yeah, who did the house fall on?
The Wicked Witch of the, is it the Wicked Witch of the West?
Yes, absolutely. The house fell on her. She was bad. She was mean.
Yeah.
But that's such an interesting concept, you know, right? It's like, okay, I think it's funny. All right.
Yeah, that's good. And her
So-
feet hanging.
Yeah, the feet hanging. So what I'd like to do for the rest of today is meet with people individually for a couple minutes. And you guys, so we can make a little order of everybody. So Diane, you could go first, Sue Ann, Hamina, Ruby, Betty, Lynette. I don't know if Edwina's still here. So basically you guys can just mute yourselves. And then Diane and I will talk for 5 minutes and then I'll switch over. And then next week, what I'd like to do is everybody share. Everybody's gonna share a collage, right? So you have one more week to kind of finish one up. And then after next week, I'm gonna need to go to collect one, right? So one of the collages has to go to the art center or the senior center, get dropped off there in a bag or you know, wrapped up in newspaper or whatever with your name on it for Leah. And I'm gonna go pick them up, okay? Because I'm gonna put them all together and make one final piece of artwork out of all of our collages.
Well,
Does
Leah,
anybody- Yes,
where would you, are they gonna display them later?
yeah,
So
they're
you-
gonna, well, right, so I'm paid by New Cortland, so the pieces usually end up going in the New Cortland Senior Center, which I think is on Germantown Avenue. sometimes they go in the one, I mean, that's where my last piece went that I made 2 years ago. So it went into the new Cortland. So what I'll do is I'll take all of your boards and I'm gonna glue them together on a bigger board. So it'll be like a grid. And I might put it together, I might put them together in a house. So I might put all the rectangles as the base and then maybe build a roof and a background out of jelly plate prints.
Hi, Leanne.
So you guys could submit extra jelly plate prints that you did, and one board. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I was thinking about that. I was thinking, and I can kind of draw, I was thinking that I would put everybody's together as a rectangle and then put a triangular roof on it and then put it on a background. So it's gonna be kind of like everybody's collages inside a house. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I like
Sure
the idea.
That sounds
And,
nice.
and our names will be on it too?
Yeah, it'll list everybody's, I mean, it'll be a
Name.
collaborative piece and it'll have each of our names on it. And I'll have a piece in it too. So each of our pieces will be like bricks on the wall, right?
Oh, cool, cool.
Hi,
Yeah.
Leanne.
Okay,
Who determines where the piece of art goes?
that's a good question. I think that's a Genevieve question.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a Genevieve question, but that's a good one. I mean, I wanted to go to your place so you get to see.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. Well, tell her you
Yeah.
want it. Tell her you
Well,
want it.
I think that's something that you need to mention to her.
I will. I'll try to find out.
Yeah,
before
because I think the members would like to see they work here.
I agree.
They won't get there. They don't rarely get to go up Germantown.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'll make sure that everybody gets a picture or a card of the piece when it's finished, and then hopefully it can be displayed on Allegheny because that's closer to my house too.
You mean down
You're-
here on?
You're on Allegheny.
No, we
No.
at 509.
Center
Oh, you're
City.
on Broad Street. You're on Broad Street. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Where you were at?
Oh, right. I was at the other one too, but okay, I'll make sure, I'll ask her about Broad Street.
How do y'all feel about that, having it down here, right? The
Oh,
members,
sure,
yeah.
sure.
That would be nice.
Now, it's interesting, some places will have it shown for a month and then they'll move it to another center and have it there for a month, things like that.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I think it should just stay. I think it should just stay. Well, yeah, I'll ask Genevieve, see if she has any information. She might not even know at this time. So, but I'm hoping to have the piece finished by the end of March. So, you guys have, next week's our last class, and then you have about a week to get it to the center. And then hopefully I can collect them at
Okay.
the end of March and put it together.
yes, it's difficult to get up to Germantown Avenue.
No, you don't have to get to Germantown Avenue. Can you get to Broad
Okay.
Street?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I just need
same
you.
in the city.
Yeah, that we were talking about where the art when it was finished would go, but to deliver your pieces, you're just gonna go to your
Oh,
senior
yes,
center, which
no.
is
Mhm.
Okay,
I mentioned that the days that y'all do come in for ceramic, one of them days y'all could bring it in.
Oh, yes.
I think, on Friday or either Wednesday, so I mentioned that y'all come in, you and Miss Betty comes in on ceramic. So one of them days you can leave your artwork here.
Oh, okay.
If
That'd be
that's
great.
okay.
okay. And then just make sure your name is on it so that I know it's yours. And then as soon as I'm gonna probably pick them up like April 1st. April 1st is a Friday. I could probably come on that Monday after the first, second, third. I can probably pick them up Monday, April 4th. So if everybody could deliver them on April Fool's Day, that's the 1st. That would be great. Okay. Okay. So April 1. All right. So Diane, I'm going to do your meeting. So this is Diane, and then I'm going to go. So you guys stay right on there. So, all right, go ahead. It's your individual 5-minute meeting. So talk to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what I was supposed to do.
Do you have any questions or things that you wanted me to look at just on your artwork? Do you have any
Well, I do have, I like the idea that you just had today about the face and the house. I made one with a house. I made a collage with the face, just the facial. But I like the idea of doing something with the house and a face, but with a musical note background, because
Okay,
I love music, and my husband used to work for the Philadelphia Orchestra,
okay,
and music is a big part in this house. It's a big part of this house. And I usually do a show on Friday nights. I do an oldies show with somebody on an internet station where I take requests.
okay.
So I was thinking of putting some stuff like that, like a jukebox, stuff that is in my house and in my head.
Right, so
Yeah.
it's very metaphoric in art to use the mouth and the jaw of a face, and then to build all of the sort of elements as if we're looking inside of our brains of all the things in our lives that have affected us that we're interested in, and put those in the circle, right?
Okay.
So that's it. And I love the way that artist, do you want me to go back to the artist for a second?
Yeah.
I love the way that artist used the circle, right, as the background too.
Yeah, I
So
like that.
that's a frontal view. So the lower jaw and the mouth. I mean, and you could find an image like that anywhere in a magazine.
Yeah.
You could draw it. You could take a photograph of yourself.
Excellent. Yeah.
This is the profile. So this is a profile. And then basically from here up and all the background is things, that are abstracted, that can represent, thoughts or experiences. I know. And I love that design. I love that sort of like the circle. I like the solid color.
I like the
circle.
solid color and that black that goes around the edges. That's nice.
Yeah, so you can paint your panels black. I think I gave everybody some black paint. You can do
Yep.
a background paint color. You could paint the circle and then collage on the circle. So you could draw the
Excellent.
circle and paint it, or you could cut the circle out of paper and then collage on it.
All right.
Okay,
Great
so I'll look
ideas.
forward to, I'm glad. I like that idea too. I thought that was really,
Yeah, it's really cool. Thank you, Leah.
okay. All right, great. Thank you. Okay, so Sue Ann, you're up next. Did you have any questions or anything that you wanted to share with me or ask me about?
Yeah,
Anything to help you one-on-one?
I went on this little mini vacation this place called the Corollaville Hotel, and I cut it out
Oh, nice.
from like the flyer, and I put it on one of my.
Oh, I love it. Yeah,
I think I'm gonna put a person on there too,
yeah.
and she's the person I found in the magazine. I
Awesome.
also have that's my grandmother, my grandfather, and us as little kids.
Okay.
That's a photo, and then here's a picture of all the little girls, my sisters when we were little, and here's a picture of my dad.
Okay.
Upside down.
Are you gonna
Yeah,
put
just
all,
some pictures that was working.
can you make them smaller?
Okay, well, can I?
Yeah, maybe make something, because
Did you
that's,
say?
maybe, can you shrink the people, like the pictures of your family members, can you shrink them down to make them smaller? Do you have a Xerox machine that you can use the size, or the library Xerox machine?
There's a FedEx that has a Xerox machine next to me. I could see if they
Yeah.
could do something.
Yeah, if they can, because I think that's a lot of content for one collage. It's a lot of things. But if you had all the people smaller, it kind of represents sort of so many things about life, where we're sort of large in our own minds, but like we're just ants on the planet, right? Because there's so many people on the planet. It's like that kind of relationship too, and also about memory, right? Like that memories kind of come and go, and they're sort of precious, right? They're sort of small. impressions. That could be interesting to play around with the scale of the different things. And also I like that the house is kind of small, even though it was a vacation spot for you guys, you know?
Yeah. That's just me. Actually, I went last week for like 3 days.
Oh,
And
nice.
so this past week, I went on vacation.
Oh,
I also found this really cool picture in a magazine that I have
uh-huh.
of, I could work that into parts of that into a collage somehow.
Okay. Oh, I love that. That's a city. Is that, what city is that? Is that Chicago?
I don't know. I don't know. I just tore that. I just cut the name of it out of it. I just threw it away. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
but
it
that would be
is.
a great background. That's a great background picture. And then you can put people or houses on top of it or something to make it personal, right?
Here's the thing. When we first started this, we did all the stuff with the brayer and the
Jelly
jelly
plate?
plate. So I
Uh-huh.
kind of made backgrounds. I did all stuff on all my pieces of wood, you know, they all have stuff on them. So I'm gonna have to just put stuff over stuff that I already did.
Or yeah, or cut it out so you can see the background. Cut the pieces down, cut pieces out of them. I'm always cutting my, like, look at my collages. So look, I cut my, wait, Suzanne, I'm gonna show you something. I cut my,
Okay, I'm not going anywhere.
hold on. Oh, sorry.
Mhm.
I cut my stuff out. So like if I'm using a figure, I cut her out so that there's,
Okay.
and so that I cut around the outside edge. So I don't use pictures in there. Oh, now they're not on here. Well, even like this
I
one,
understand what you're saying.
even this one, do you see how like the flat, like I cut her out. I cut her body out so that I could use the flowers as a background, right?
Okay.
So I always like to kind of layer my collage elements. So see how like she is on top of this jelly plate print pattern, right? So it's kind of like they're
Mhm.
two contrasty environments where it's like the figure and then the texture. And then you could add the texture back. Again, it's like you could overlap it too, you know what I mean? So if you have jelly plates underneath and then the images that you want go on top, and then you could put jelly plate, like bubble, like other things on smaller. So you're working on scale too, right? So that's why that's why I was saying about shrinking the people down. Then you can use your jelly plate backgrounds, put a couple buildings on there and then the little people, right? So that you have a little bit more scale separation. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you. Good work. I'm happy for you. All right. So, Hamina, do you want to meet with me?
Yeah,
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. So the question that I have, well, I kind of have a few questions. The first
ahead.
one is, do we need to use all of the material that you gave us, like, into the collage?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, it's not
Um,
like you have to use everything. I mean, I kind of thought that everybody would be making work when I demonstrated different techniques, and then they could use any of the pieces that they made in their collages, plus any other pieces that they've made. So no, there's no like list or checklist about how many pieces. No checklist.
Okay, okay. And then the other thing is that, so for because I'm not really liking how they're coming out. I feel like they're very like messy and they don't make any sense. So I still have one of the canvas that you gave us, like without anything. So I think I'm
Okay.
gonna use that to create like a final piece that I actually want to send. And I was wondering if like how can I go on about like making sure that it's organized so that I don't really like mess it up, because also I also don't have like a lot of materials here with me since I moved here in January, and all of like the things that I can consider home or stuff like that are actually like back at home and not here with me. So,
Well, you could use words like that. You could use text in replacement of the actual thing. You could, you know, describe the thing in words and write it down and then cut shapes out of it. I mean, there's so many ways. I think that's one of the things about art that's so beautiful is that it doesn't have to be an exact replica of the thing. That's why art enables you to sort of be creative and remake it in its own way. So you could describe the thing that you're missing and then write it down. And like we talked about the asemic writing. Do you remember that? Well, you could use the asemic writing and be describing your house. Like my house was white. It was on a street. It had a blue door. It was 2 floors. You know, we had a dog. We had a driveway. You know, like it was in a neighborhood with you could write all that stuff, and nobody needs to actually read it because it's going to have meaning to you. And that's sort of part of the beauty of making art, is that art is in the eye of the beholder. It's really about you and your feelings, and what people get from it is up to them.
okay.
You know, and don't worry if it's messy. Maybe that's your style. Like, you don't know, you know what I mean? Like, who's saying that? You're saying that? Are you being self-critical? And why are you being self-critical? You know, like, what is that? Is that helping you? Is being critical helping you? It's like, no, it's just making you insecure, right? So you don't need to be, you know, you're just telling your story, and however it comes out is fine. It's not about judgment.
Okay, all right, makes
And
sense. Thank you.
There's no right and wrong with art, girl. It is
Thank
what
you.
you make it, right?
Yeah.
You're the creator, and it is a reflection of whatever you're going through at this moment. And maybe your life is a little messy right now. You know, that happens.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I'll look forward to seeing your work next week. Okay, so I think Ruby, you could go next. Or Betty. Oh, Ruby, you're next. Okay, do you have any questions for me?
Speaking of the house.
Yes.
I don't understand. You mean make a house and put things in the house, or what?
Oh no, I might make something. No, you don't worry about it. Just worry about your piece, whatever you're feeling. Don't worry about what I'm doing.
Okay, so
You guys are gonna give me boards, right? You're gonna give me everyone's working on the same size board. You're all gonna give me boards. I might do something with the boards. I haven't figured out. I might put them in a rectangle is all I'm trying to say.
okay. So each one's supposed to bring one board?
Each person needs to submit one of the boards. Yeah, you can pick whichever piece that you've made from. You could just pick your first piece that you made, or one that you're gonna make this week.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's up to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do you have any questions about any of the materials that I gave you, or anything about constructing the collage or contents?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, I wasn't sure that the paint would work on the tablet that you gave me.
Yeah, the newsprint, paint works great on the newsprint. I love paint on the newsprint. And the ink works well on there too. I mean, newsprint is a pretty versatile paper. It's pretty nice paper. It's very inexpensive and very easy to use. And I like it because it's very easy to glue.
Yeah.
I don't like to glue the thicker papers because they get all those air bubbles and they never lay flat and they don't cooperate. So I like to use rice papers, newspapers, magazine papers, and newsprint. For collages.
Yeah, that wrapping paper.
And wrapping paper. Love wrapping paper.
You use glue to glue it down with?
Yep, I use that PVA glue that I gave you, and the foam brushes.
Okay. Can you paint over it after you put it down?
Absolutely, yep.
Okay.
Yep, and you can paint over any of these papers with that craft paint I gave you. And you can roll the brayer over the collages. Like I think even Sue Ann was saying that she made a bunch of collages with the jelly plate prints, but if you don't want to use all of them, you can paint right over them again with the craft paint. If you wanted like to do a circle or a shape behind another collage, you could paint over the jelly plate prints with the craft paint.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Of course. Okay, Miss Betty or Miss Lynette, who wants to go next? Miss Betty, how are you doing? Are you muted? I think you're muted. Are you sitting in front of the house? I still can't hear you.
Now?
I hear you now. Yep.
Oh, okay.
How are you?
I have been having a ball. I tell you.
Oh, yay.
I'm on the 5th board, and my board is here.
Oh,
It's not finished.
nice. Oh, I
This-
love it. Where'd you get the shiny paper?
Out of a frame.
I love it. I love the shiny paper.
I can't see.
Okay, it's
That
the
is-
rectangle thing, the big in the middle. That's
Uh-huh.
the stage, like a dance hall.
Oh,
and this
perfect.
is the stage.
Nice.
So that's my building.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Can you hold it up,
It's not
Betty?
finished yet.
She's gonna hold it up. Hold it up again for us, Miss Betty.
Okay.
Oh, so pretty. I can feel the stage. I can feel the show. It looks like a rock concert.
I can't
Can you
see.
make her big, Leah?
Can anybody
Oh
else?
yeah, hang on.
See it
Is she
again?
not big for you? Yeah, hang on one second, one second. Yeah, she's big for me, but hold on, I'm the host. Let me see if I can make her bigger. I'm gonna make you bigger, Miss Betty. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hold on, you're gonna be the biggest. There, is she bigger now?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really pretty.
Yeah, and I love the
That's
faces
really
behind
pretty.
there. I love the colors too.
Those are beautiful. Yeah.
Well, it's not finished, but I'm
Okay.
having a blast.
Oh, good. Do you have any questions
Yeah,
for me?
I have used everything but the bottle with the ink in it.
You gotta
I've-
use the ink. You gotta get a straw, and blow the ink around. It's super fun. Make a tree. You gotta make a tree for me.
Okay, I'll do something. I'll
Use a
use it.
straw. You can use a straw. You could use a fork. I've actually just stuck a fork in the little jar and then just drew with the fork. It's nice to use odd objects as paint, as art tools. Like,
Okay.
you could put
I'm
a
gonna try.
piece of spaghetti in there. You can use a pencil in there, a paintbrush.
I used the pencil already. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. You have any questions? Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay, so next week you all can present one of your pieces. Okay, so next week we'll all present and we'll do a little wrap up. I think I have one more person to talk to. I think I have Lynette, and if Edwina wants to talk to me, I don't know if she's gone. She might be gone. Let me see. All right, here you go. Miss
Still
Lynette,
here.
okay. Oh, good. Hang on. Oh, wait.
All right. I don't really have anything to show today.
Do you have
'cause
any questions?
I'm not happy with my work today. It didn't.
Why? I love it. I love the house on the right. I like the trees. Like, lift it up a little bit so I can see a little bit more. What don't you like about that? I love that.
My trees. I'm not good with making trees.
Well, you know what you could do to make some trees, which is real nice, is do you have any sponges at home?
Yeah.
Cut up a sponge into 4 parts, and then
Uh-huh.
get some of your green paint and use that walnut ink. Use that walnut ink to just make a tree trunk, and then wait till it dries, and then take green paint and just paint the tops of the trees with the sponge. Have you ever
Oh,
done that?
okay.
So that you don't have to try to draw all the leaves, it's like it's too, and you've got enough detail on there. So just take the sponge, you can cut it in a circle, but it's hard on your hands to cut a sponge as a circle, or just cut it into little squares, and then just get a bunch of different greens and just draw a straight line and then make some green around the top and you'll do great.
Oh, all right then.
Okay, perfect,
Thanks.
awesome. All right, I'll look forward to seeing that next week.
All right.
All right, good job. All right, Miss Edwina, do you have any questions for me?
I
Are you
have a
still
lot
here?
of questions.
Oh, well, which
I
one?
don't, I just got lost, so,
Well, you
everything is
missed last
complete.
week with the walnut ink, and I can show you real quick what we did, real quick. I'll show you. So we used we talked about vantage points. So I think that with the walnut ink, so what I did was I made a collage that was fairly what I would consider rough, or like a rough outline.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I used the walnut ink to draw, to make it like to draw a line. So the house, this was just like a bunch of rectangles.
Mhm.
And then what I did is I used the walnut ink to just kind of give it this outside line, right? So you could draw a line anywhere and define it, right? So that was like a top layer that I could use the walnut ink. You could also use the walnut ink to write some words. And I think Hamina talked about that today. Like, she said she's missing pictures because she's not living at home. So I said, well, like, write down what the words that describe the pictures, right? So if you don't always have what you need, you can use something else to replace it that might have the same feeling. I'll see you tomorrow, Jair. Have a great night. Thanks for coming to say goodbye to me. Right? And then we also talked about vantage points. So perspective drawings, which I can upload those videos to YouTube. But
Okay.
yeah, did you see the slideshow we did today?
Yes, I did.
Did you like the figurative work? I wanted to see if people could maybe put some, maybe the idea of putting themselves or something that represented them, their femininity, or they're a woman or people in with the house, or even stuff that kind of resembles. You could go through a home magazine, like, and
have a
put all kinds of stuff in there, right? Like this one reminds me of, I don't know, stacks of plates, from the kitchen, and all kinds of hoses and stuff that are hooked up to my washing machine. I mean, there's so many parts of our homes that we could focus on, whether we're focusing on it metaphorically or in actuality, right?
Well,
I think this was
Okay.
hilarious with the hair. I think this picture with the hair is too funny. So what could you use
Yeah.
for hair? You could use yarn. I didn't give everybody yarn, right? But you could use yarn or string and attach it to the outside of the house, right? And that would be basically like personifying the house, right? You could add braids. I mean, whatever it is.
Yeah. Can you
Mhm.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is what I was talking about, the house that you was talking about just now.
Mhm.
You saying we make a house? That was what I was asking about before.
I was saying that you need to make a house.
No, when you showed the house just now,
Oh yeah, the one with the hair.
you want us to make something like that? Is that what you're
No,
talking?
I was just giving you ideas. I mean, if it speaks to you, you could make something like that. I was thinking today we were going to talk about home and our physical bodies and how maybe people connected, the human figure and the house. So that's where I came up with the idea of adding hair or adding a mouth, right? Or some feature that was human, right? To our images of houses that we've already been working on.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was sort of my last big idea before our last class, which is next week. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm gonna run and I'll see everybody next Monday. And I'm gonna make a collage to share, and hopefully everybody will make one last one. And then if you need help picking which one is your favorite that you want to submit or blah, 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 we can work on that too, okay?
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, have fun collaging.
All right.
Okay, make
Take
art,
care.
be creative. Thank you.
Okay,
All right,
Uh-huh.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye, ladies. Have a great night. Bye.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.